99.35 K-Day. Good morning. Hanging out with your girls, Cece and Romeo. We got special guests in the studio.
Man, oh man.
I'm so excited about this because these are my homies and I truly love them. Shout out to Baldacci. Shout out to Estevan. Stefan, you're here promoting your new book. This is amazing. It's heavy as hell.
Yeah, it is.
All in black and white.
A lot of history in this book, though.
Thank you.
You know, and for me, seeing this book for the first time, I want to know what was the first picture that jumped this whole movement off for you in the beginning?
From that book?
Yeah, like just for you to do what you do, what was the first photo that you took that made you say, this is what I want to do? Let's take them back to the beginning.
Well, I was a tour manager for House of Pain in '92.
Okay.
And I tour managed them to '94, and then I switched over to Cyprus, and I tour managed Cyprus from '94 to 2005. So doing all that touring is how I got started in photography. It was me being a tour manager, and then also lowriding when I was in LA, because I had a lowrider before I had a camera even. So I was just taking pictures of the two worlds that I was in, which was lowriding and hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started, and it just took off from there.
And you always shot in black and white?
Mostly, yeah, until magazines started requesting that I shoot color, and also record labels for, album packaging. They would always want color, so I was just basically shooting like for clients in color, but I always liked black and white myself. And when I shoot digitally, I shoot it with the screen black and white, because I don't know why, it just feels like I can see it better.
Oh, real? Okay, so let me ask you, like, you've worked with artists like Snoop. I saw on your Instagram Mobb Deep. You've shot Nipsey. Like, how was it, working with these artists of this caliber? Arcade artists too, definitely.
Time. They're all different, but they're all pretty cool. I've rarely ran into situations where I shot somebody that acted like a diva,
But you had a couple of those situations?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I left,
I was going to say, how do you even handle that situation? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm too old, and I'm, to waste time with that, Like, I walked in this one place, and these guys were like 4 hours late.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
I went to go eat lunch, and that's when they showed up, was when I went to go eat lunch. So they're like, hey, where's this photographer at? And like they were getting all huffy and puffy. So when I came back, they're like, hey, man, we've been waiting for you, woo woo. And I was like, man, I was waiting for you for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So what?
Love that.
Right? Exactly.
I just told the people from the magazine, I was like, hey, man, I don't get paid enough for this. Like, drama from these dudes. I'm out of here.
And here's the thing. They got to know your worth and your work, because that's why they hired you. So out of respect, they should have been there. You know what I mean?
Well, the magazine knows.
Yeah.
But not every artist researches what photographer is going to show up and shoot their stuff. Like I shoot people now, and they don't know who I am or anything, which is cool. Like I kind of like it better when people don't know anything about me, because then it's like you're starting out with a fresh slate.
Right.
But and sometimes it is cool when they do know who you are, because there's like, they automatically give you like a certain
there's a certain respect that goes behind your name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And people that are really with the culture of LA and have been following the LA hip hop scene, they know who you are.
Yeah.
And they know the resume that reads behind you.
Yeah.
But it is kind of refreshing if somebody doesn't know, because then you get like a whole fresh perspective as well.
It's cool. Like how
did you guys link up, Baldacci and stuff? How did you guys link up?
Through the Instagram. Just going
power of
back
social
and forth.
media.
Yeah, just like, hey, homie, you want to do some flicks? And it was over, From then on, we just been doing like project after project, and because to me, Baldacci's like a specialty,
he is
like artist or whatever you want to call it. But there's thousands of rappers, and hundreds of good ones. But when you're good and you have a look like him, there's only so much that the industry will let you do. So I know how they are, and they close doors on people that they might be intimidated by or scared of. So I'm like, let me give an extra push,
No, for real.
on my side.
Because I had to tell the receptionist real talk. I was like, listen, I got people coming. I was like, Baldacci might look scared of you, but he's so cool. I'm like, so don't let him scare you.
Man, it happens all the time.
But a lot of people
So
get
used to it.
intimidated by you when they see you at first, right? And that must be hard as an artist.
I'm so used to it already. Like I like the reaction that I get afterwards after they see who I am. It's a complete different game.
Right? You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Cannot do that.
It's the best feeling ever,
Mine you can.
Definitely by yours, yes,
there you
of course.
go.
Man, and where can they pick this book up at, man?
I have all the links on my Instagram,
Okay.
like the whole link in the bio thing. But if you just go to my site, EstevanOriol.com, or you go to my Instagram, Estevan Oriol, I try to keep it simple for everybody, so it's not, they don't have to search too hard. They still hit me up, in my DM, like, hey, how can I get your book, Holmes? It's like. Did you look at the link right there on the front of my
click the link on the
page,
bio.
That's it.
Did you look at any of the posts at all where I, say,
Stefan, I was just telling them just 2 weeks ago. Somebody asked me if if I wanted to get signed to the record label. I said I'm not even a rapper. I'm a radio personality, and it says it on my bio. So I'm like, did you even look at my bio?
You should have took a
Right.
deal, though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What kind of money you talking about?
I don't know what I
To
can do
save
for
my
you.
life. That's why I do radio. So let me ask you. I love that you depict the real Chicano culture of LA.
Yeah.
And I love that about your photography. Can we talk about that? Because I feel like there's only a few photographers that really capture what LA is truly about.
Yeah, well, that's where I come from, I'm half Mexican, half Italian, and I come from the Chicano side because my pops was from out here, my mom's family is from back east, so I was always more raised around my dad's family. And when I started doing photography, it was in the lowrider community because I was just taking pictures of my car, my homies' cars, and our car club. And then when we'd go to car shows, back in the 90s, it was on and popping. So you would always be like, hey, can I bust a flick of you in my car? Or, just different stuff throughout the shows. I wasn't really like a photographer, so I wasn't like going and documenting this car show or documenting this culture. And it was more like me just taking pictures in my world. And that was, where I was low riding. It was basically, it was in East LA. We only had one chapter, so it was predominantly Chicanos there. So that's what I started taking photos of. And when I was going on tour, I was taking photos of the hip hop culture. And that's what my first two bodies of work were: hip hop, being on tour, and low riding in
And then
LA.
all of a sudden, artists started contacting you, right? How did that work? Because then now I'm seeing you shoot all these different artists. How did that come into play?
Well, back then, because I was a tour manager, I set up the press
Okay.
for the day. I'd get a fax from the record label, and they'd say, hey, you got 4 things of press tomorrow. Set it up in between sound check or whenever the guys want to. So I was always dealing with the magazines direct and the record label. And when I would shoot the bands live and backstage, I would tell the magazines, like, because I saw each magazine, they'd get like 15 minutes per interview and photo shoot. So they would get, sometimes the interviewee would, or the interviewer would take up all the time, and the photographer wouldn't have no time to take the pictures. But I would have to cut them short because they had the next guys already waiting.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, if you ever want any shots of them on stage or backstage, I got them. And at first, the magazines were kind of like, oh, look at the roadies fucking trying to push his work on us,
Mm-hmm.
So I started showing my photos to the magazines, and they're like, hey, you shoot these? And I was, yeah, what do you want to do? And they go, can we use them? And we'll pay you this much. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's a good
I can make some money off this. Yeah.
It was like $500 a picture.
Oh,
that
wow.
They would use. So I was like,
Add that up.
right. You use one,
Do the
cool.
math, huh?
That pays for all the film and processing and printing and everything for the whole tour, So if I could get a couple of those, it was all good. So then I started getting some magazine work, and I started, showing the record label, like, hey, if you guys have anybody you want me to shoot for your label, let me know. And they're like, yeah, sure, like brushing me off. So then I was more like a part of Cypress because I was tour managing, shooting, doing video, and I was DJing because Muggs would stay home, and he was doing a lot of remixes at that time and getting paid good. So he was like, I'd rather stay home and do these remixes than go on tour and make the same amount of money, because you kind of roughed it when you're on tour.
I heard going on tour is so rough.
Yeah, people think it's like,
glamorous and anything but that. Yeah.
Popping bottles and this and that, but there's a lot of driving, a lot of sitting, a lot of
bad eating because you guys are driving everywhere.
Right.
So now you're just hitting like
Gas
fast
stations.
foods. You're not eating right now.
Yeah, truck stops and all that kind of lifestyle. So it's like if you can be at home in your own environment and you're making music, making twice the money you'd be making on tour, why not stay home? So I started filling in, DJing, and then I started using that because I was so in with the label. I was like, hey, the guys want me to shoot the next album cover and do the design and have Cartoon do the logo, and it was kind of like a one-stop shop. What we had, it was called Soul Assassin Studios, SA Studios, and we would just do everything for every artist that they wanted. If you wanted a tattoo, you got tattooed, a photo shoot, a video, your album packaging, or we had clothing. We had the Joker clothing, so we just would hook it all up.
Everybody was rocking Joker. I remember that Joker wear at that one time.
Wow.
Yes, everybody was.
And you had it all in the house. But I got to ask you, I'm looking at pictures, Quick, Snoop, Post Malone. How many years have you been shooting? Have you had a chance to sit back and just enjoy what you've accomplished already?
Yeah, I enjoy it in my head,
Yeah.
But,
Or are you just still in that mode, like, you know what? This is
still
what I
work.
do. It still work.
I got to keep going,
Yeah.
because like everybody, if you're an artist, you're only as good as your last thing.
True,
So,
true.
Just like everybody, you're only as good as your last song. So
You're only as good as your last shot.
yeah, and I got to just keep it moving all the time. Like I have enough photos to publish and books to put out for the rest of my life and never shoot again.
Right.
Damn.
I would be, not relevant no more. What if I just said, okay, I'm cool, I'm not gonna shoot no more, and I just started posting everything that I've done in the past, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, he was good back then, but what's he doing now, type of thing. So you gotta always stay on the grind and keep it moving, and that's why you still see me out there and I'm shooting. The other day I just did a shoot with Shoreline Mafia. My daughter was all happy.
Oh, I was hanging out.
Okay, yes. Can you please tell him the story about Shoreline
First of all,
Mafia?
I was hanging out with Phoenix last night.
Oh my God.
He stopped by the house.
Yes.
He just shot for the Dub magazine's coming out next month.
Yeah, they were
And,
telling me the next day they had to go do the dub.
Yeah, and the thing is about those cats, man, they went to school with my girl's older son. So they recorded Musty and everything in his bedroom in the closet.
Oh, shit.
Like their biggest records were actually recorded in my house. Stay on me a
right?
check, damn it. No, I'm just
Throwback
kidding.
stuff, that's
But I
crazy.
mean, but if you think about it now, I look back, we were letting them do what they wanted to do. It was their passion,
Yeah.
and look what it's turned into.
Yeah.
And now they're touring the world, so I'm so happy for them cats. But yeah.
Yeah.
Estevan, correct me if I'm wrong, but you worked on the whole campaign with Mr. Cartoon when he did the Nike Cortez?
Yes.
And how was that? How was it working? And how different can it be when you got somebody as big as Nike involved now,
Well, we've been doing stuff with Nike for a lot of years, and it was cool. It's like whenever you work with big corporate companies, there's a lot of politics, and the way they do stuff is kind of weird. When the bigger the company, the more power they have to push back on you. So there's some times where you have to do the Mexican standoff with them, and just be like, if you want to do this, then we do it our way, or if you want, if you don't, it's cool,
And you've really stood by your word and your work, and you're like, I do it a certain way, and I work a certain way.
Every time, and it's been it's been like a double-edged sword for us. Sometimes we stand up for ourselves, and they say, okay, cool, and they're gone, but that's a thing you have to do. You have to have integrity and protect yourself and your brand as much as they're protecting theirs.
No, when I went to the release of Mr. Cartoon's Nike Cortez in downtown LA, just the photos itself. It's your work has a certain style that I walked in and I was like, oh, that's Estevan. Like I just knew right away. I just know the style of your work. It's amazing. And I was like, and I kept asking, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I was right about that,
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure I wanted to hear from you. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of imposters nowadays, and
There's photography imposters.
Yeah. It's like
Thinking they know what they're doing.
and nowadays it's like not even like back in the day when I was growing up, the number one thing you had to be was original and authentic. Like you didn't bite nobody's style. If you did, you were considered whack, and you were cut. Nowadays, like it's flipped. It's the opposite, and there's thousands of people out there that'll just do the Estevan Oriol looking photo for half the price or free, and they're getting those opportunities.
Yeah.
There's still some people that just say, I don't give a damn. I want Estevan Oriol to do it.
That would be me. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I need. I don't need no imposter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they're willing to come up with the budget and we make the shoot happen.
Now going into photography, and you guys are working. You have a new single out, right? What is it called?
It's called I Love LA.
And how did you guys work on this together?
Well, so my brother Estevan's been, like he said, putting in a lot of work and helping me out as well, giving me that extra push. So I felt, the need to actually give back as well. So, in my song, I mentioned him. I mentioned a couple of other people that, I felt, are my people and my love.
And that actually represented, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just, LA in general. So, just the fact that you guys, are you working together, I just think that it's cool that you guys, because I saw the video when you guys shutting me out and I was like, oh my God, they're working together. In what sense? I wanted to know,
Yeah, it's just a bunch of different things we've been doing over these past few years now. Like today, I feel more Los Angeles than any other day being in here, 93.5 K-Day, being here with my brother Esteban and you guys as well. Appreciate you guys. Like it's a blessing. It's just that it's just been going up. You know what I mean? I was also involved with him on that Nike thing as well. We did Nike actually licensed one of my songs, it's just been positive, for me, and so I felt the need to give back by putting that I Love Los Angeles song out, and it's doing pretty well. It's a lot of people are feeling that vibe, and it's
a dope vibe. It's a dope single too.
It's also with my brother Peterbilt right here that's singing on the hook.
Oh, what, you sing too? Good at Peter.
He's a beast. My boy's a beast.
Okay.
Part of the effort,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now, wrapping up, I just want to ask you, you just mentioned 935 K-Day. What does K-Day represent to you, represent to the city? You both are public figures. You both are, people in the city that everybody knows, recognizes, and respects. So I want to hear from you what this station means to the city of Los Angeles.
Right. To me, myself, K-Day is L.A., you know what I mean? 93.5 K-Day is Los Angeles. It's the home. It's what we listen to, you know what I'm saying? The people, all of us, you know what I mean? The ones in the struggle, in the hood, the ones that's, supporting, that's 93.5 K-Day to me is Los Angeles. It's really no other words for it. That's what it is,
Man.
Yeah, they were you guys were the first to do it. I used to listen to K-Day in the 80s. I'd be at home and my friends would be like, hey man, we're going to go to this party or that party. And I was like, I'm cool. I'm just going to kick it and chill at home. And I was making tapes from K-Day. I'd be home and record the mix shows every weekend on the Fridays.
On that cassette deck?
Yeah.
Get that pause, get the
mix
commercials out of
masters,
there.
yes.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah, so I just was there and I'd wait for the commercials and push pause and rewind it. And, I would line it up, and I still have some of those tapes,
Man, that's
I was going
dope.
through them, like my garage, and I had all these cassettes, and I was like, what is all this? And I had A through Z, of all the mix master shows that I was recording back in the 80s,
Yeah.
So for me, this was the first hip hop radio station, ever.
Yeah.
So to see that it's still alive and doing well is amazing to me, because a lot of other things that have started, either fade out or they, look at the whole magazine industry,
That's true.
Yeah, gone.
That shit is over with.
Yeah, man.
That stuff is over with.
You can say that shit is over with. That shit is over with.
That shit is over with. You can say that.
Right.
But, to see, what's still here nowadays and what's gone and that something can survive this long and still be hot, it's what can you say about it? You know.
Well, all I can say is pictures last forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what you've built here is something that will be last past our lives and beyond.
Yeah.
And this is history right
Amazing,
here.
amazing. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. And before we go, like you said, you love K-Day. You used to listen to it back in the 80s. We're going to go ahead and play your favorite K-Day artist and song right now.
Well, I say throw Baldacci. I love LA on there.
Okay, well, there it is right there. Your favorite
Say it,
artist.
we got to play it right
And where
now.
can they follow you at?
You can follow myself, Baldacci, at Instagram, The Face of LA, just like that, The Face of LA.
And
Plain
Stefan.
and simple.
Yeah, Estevan Oriol, and that's it. Just
Really quick, I just want to ask you because I'm so curious right now. What's your next step? Like, are you interested in going into movies? Like, what's the next step for Stefan?
yeah, we got a documentary coming out. It's called LA Originals, and that'll be coming out at the beginning of next year. It's basically a movie about me and cartoon and the movement that we were a part of for all these years. Because you asked, like, when did I start doing photos? It was around in the early 90s.
Okay.
And at around 97, I started shooting film and video. So it's all that footage from all those years and all those photos. And we're going to, talk about the movement. And then, we interviewed Baldacci, so he's going to be in that.
Okay.
And it's going to be on a pretty big network. I can't say which one yet, but all the paperwork is signed, so...
You can't give us an exclusive right now? A little hint on what
Well, I'm gonna
network it's
come
going to
back.
be?
It starts with the letter. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're getting
right?
warm, you're getting warm.
Well, listen, at the premiere, are we allowed to be there, me and Romeo?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, we
That's
got to
right.
be there. For
Be
sure. We
right
want to come
there.
represent.
On the
Yes.
blue carpet.
You put
And if
it
you
on
guys
for the
do a
city.
movie, you know what I'm saying? You need a dynamic
Hey.
duo right here,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
I'm telling you about that, your next music video.
Let's
We
get
there.
it. Let's get it. I'm with that. I'm
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
with that, man.
Oh man, thank you guys so much for stopping through. I have so much love and I have so much respect for you guys, and I know the city does too. And just know that no matter what, K-Day will always rock and stand behind you guys.
Always.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that, man, for real.
Pick that up.
Yes.
This is Los Angeles.
This is Los Angeles,
Definitely
baby.
Los Angeles.